Hello, hi, it's Liz here, and today I am joining in with Melina's Scrap Busters challenge. It's number 95. I'm a bit late to the party, but I'm not going to catch up on the other 94. I'll just start from here. And it's stacked 4 tuck pockets from one junk mail envelope. So I've already had a go. Super fun. You can see the envelope there. And there's 4 pockets. There's one at the back, and then there's one in the middle there, and then there's a second one in the middle there, and then there's a little tuck spot at the front. So we'll just take those 2 out and you can see, and that's at the back there. So that's what it's going to look like empty, and you've got your little tuck, and then one in there, and one in at the back one. So you can see that it's just lots and lots of scraps. Yeah, so let's make one. Now, Melina used a long narrow envelope. For some reason we don't get long narrow envelopes with our junk. They're all this size. Anyway, I'm just going to cut it down. So I'll just use this top one because, yeah, I just have to cut it down. That's all there is to it because we don't get any long narrow ones. So I've got my trimmer here, and yeah, I'm just going to cut it down to what I think would be a narrow envelope. Now obviously, because I'm having to cut it down on all the sides, I'm going to have to do a little bit of extra gluing, because by doing this I'm losing the folds. Let's see if that's roughly the same size. It doesn't need to be the same size, but I think I'll just make it a little bit narrower. Right, so the first thing we need to do, let's leave that to the side there, is decide where we're going to cut off the top bit for the 2 pieces that make the 2 separate lots of pockets. So we'll just cut it off about there. It's really easy because nothing really gets measured. We're just going to do it by eye and hope that we glue all the right bits together. So that is how it should end up. But I'm going to have to do some gluing before we get started. I thought that was going to fall over there. Yeah, so I'm going to have to glue up these 2 sides and leave that top as the pocket. And then how is this? And the same there. I'm going to have to glue up these 2 sides. So let's do that first. I'm onto my new bottle. You'll be glad to know the old bottle is gone. Oh dear. And we're making a mess already. Right. So if you had a long envelope, they would already be, you know, attached, if you like. And the same with this. That's cool in the middle there. I hadn't noticed that before. It's all little tiny numbers to make a pattern. It's amazing how many different patterns are in these envelopes. I wonder why they do that. I wonder if it's a security thing. I don't know. This just needs stuck down a little bit. And is there anything on the back here? No. Right, okay, so we should have, which end? This end. So that's sealed, so that's fine. We're open here, and we're open this end. Yeah, and we're open here. So that's how it's going to go together. We've got our opening and our opening. Grand. Okay, so I think the next thing we're going to do is just add our scraps, and we'll add the scraps to this back piece first. So I have a variety of scraps here, as you can see. I think I might want an old piece of map at the top there. Nice bit of colour. I'm just going to use, we'll just can go over the edge slightly because we can trim it all at the end. Yep, that'll do. Now, we'll just use glue stick for this. I've got my little basket of little scraps just in case I didn't fancy anything that I had picked out, but I think we've got plenty picked out randomly that will do. Now we probably don't need to decorate too far down here. Maybe one more piece of something. See, this is the problem, because if you pick out too many pieces, then it's hard to decide what you might want. That's a wee bit bland. Let's add some colour. We'll maybe just not have a straight edge. That's quite nice there. Right, is there still a little bit? Oh, I think that'll do it. I think that'll do. So let's just trim it off these little bits. Careful not to open up the envelope that we glued down. Right, and I've still got my opening at the top. Yep. So that's fine. And let's test it out. Yep, that'll do nicely. Okay, so we can set this piece aside and we can continue and decorate this. We maybe start off with a little bit of music. And something colourful. Let's try this bit of comic. Maybe that. So we've had a bit of that. Here's some, oops. maybe we'll just go for it, because it's just going to move about and annoy me. And if it's glued down, it means we can't fiddle and faff too much. And I've managed to glue that. There we are. I managed to glue it on the top of glue. I like using kiddies comics because you just get a wee splash of colour. I mean, it doesn't need to make sense. That's just a bit of a wee guy running, but you know, doesn't need to make sense at all. What else have we got? Grab a bit of this. That's quite nice. Yep, let's put that there. Oh, it's off already. And if I end up with straight lines that I don't like, I can trim that off once it's dry. Then I'll add a little bit of washi if I've got straight lines that I'm not keen on. Let's use this. So we're out for a wee coffee this morning, and at the next table it was two young chaps at the next table, and they were quite taken with the dog, with Millie, and they were smiling over and eventually they spoke to us, and it was clear that they were visitors. And I says, "Oh, you're visiting me here on holiday?" Yes, we're here on holiday. I says, "Where are you from?" "Oh, we're from the Netherlands." So that was nice. Oh, here's a nice wee bit of wallpaper that might do that. So the Netherlands. I says, "Oh, that's lovely." I says, "So are you here to see the sights?" I says, "No, we're here for the football." So for anyone that doesn't know, the football is a big game today. It's Rangers and Celtic, the two Glasgow teams. A great rivalry here, to say the least. And so they were really looking forward to it because they had hospitality tickets, and so they were getting their dinner and drinks in a special part of the stadium. And I says, "Oh, well, that's nice then." So I was quite happy at that, because that keeps them away from the, shall we say, the singing and the dancing. the rest of the stadium. It can get quite colourful. So yeah, so that was nice. We spoke to them for a little while we were having our breakfast. Yeah, so we need a little bit of washi here, and maybe a little bit up there, just to break up the lines, and just to cover this little white bit here. And here. yes, I like that. It's very eclectic. So yeah, so the football's today, and I hope everyone behaves themselves. Right, so what step next? What did I do? Oh yes, I stitched round, and we need to put something in the middle. Now I've chosen this Project Life card, and I think it'll go in the middle there. So let's see if we can just see how it looks first before we glue it in. Yeah, that's quite nice in there. Did I miss that? Oh, do you know what it is? I think the washi tape's white, so I'm covering up a bit of the white envelope with white washi. Yeah, so what Melina did was just put glue along the top, and then she said she shimmied it down, because if you put glue all over and you're putting something inside, then it'll be harder to put it in, and plus the glue will go all over the inside. So we've just put glue along the top, and then we shimmy it in. Easier said than done. It went in easier the first time. There. That's it. So that's the inside behind the window covered. And that's us, I think, ready to glue those two bits together. Yeah, I'm just going to mark where I'm going to put my glue. So I'm gluing down to there. I'm going to use this. Now, wait a minute. Do I glue across that? Does that become... Wait till I count the pockets. So there's 1, 2, yeah. Don't glue across the top. Oops. Because that has to stay open. Of course it does. Right, so it's just up the sides. And across the bottom. You've got to be an engineer. Right, so now I should have put my notches. I'll manage to get the punch in there. Yeah. Right, now I am going to... What am I going to do next? I'm going to just tidy up this, because we're done with that. I suppose it used a wee drop up. Right, now I'm going to ink around. Let me just get the ink. So I've got walnut stain, which is a wee bit darker than I would usually choose, but I thought it just adds quite a bit around the edges, the old walnut stain. Given that this one is quite an eclectic mix of scraps, it does define the all the openings, and I maybe should have done it before I glued that down, but you can get there. Right, I think that's all the bits. Okay, now next I've got my punch, but I'm going to stitch first and that will hold it properly together. So I've got one there, I've got one there, I've got one there, one there, one in behind there, so that's 1, 2, 3, and oh, now wait a minute. Oh my goodness, you fold this bottom bit up. Right, well that's okay. So, although we covered that, doesn't matter. We fold the bottom bit up, and that's your little tuck spot. Yeah, how could I forget the little bottom bit? Okay, let's bring in... Tidied them away too soon. So a little thing for along the bottom here. That might be quite nice. There's some old numbers. That's quite good. Right. I should have written the steps down. No, I didn't. Looks like a mouse has chewed that. Oh, that'll never do. That'll need to be a scrap for something else. Right. Try again. Right, maybe I can just tail this without the ruler. Yeah. That's better. Imagine forgetting to turn up. I know, you wouldn't know, but I watched the video, I think 3 times so that I would get it right. I watched Melina's video 3 times. You would never know. Right, going to chop that. Give this bit a bit of a haircut. This is a challenge, a challenge to use your scraps. It was certainly a challenge for me, just to cover an envelope. Oh my goodness. Right. And of course, now we need to re-ink that. That actually looks pretty good at the bottom there. Yeah. Right, I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and hope that I sew the right bits, because it is really just round. Yeah, just completely round the edge. And of course you don't need to sew it. It'll all stay together quite nicely. And of course it just gets put on the page like that, on your journal page, or if you covered the back, oh, I'm getting pins and needles in my foot. If you cover the back, then obviously it can be just a floating thing in your journal, or for some happy mail to somebody. Right, okay, I'm going to go to the machine. So that's it, a quick stitch around. Yep. So because I've made a boo-boo and I didn't punch my notches before I attached it all, this big monster of a punch won't obviously go through, or will it? No, it's too broad. So I'm just going to put little notches in this one. Yeah. So this is just a 1 inch rather than a 2 inch. So we're just going to have to, usually I would punch, well, we could punch this way up for this one. So we're just going to do it by eye. There. And normally, to see where you punch, I hold the punch this way up, but my punch won't go in there, so I'm just going to have to guess and look sideways and hope for the best. Aye, that's fine. That'll do it. Right, now we need to fill it with nice things, and I've got some pre-made bits that we can put in. So this was from Rachel's challenge the other week, and I'm going to put that in the back there, peeking through. And then I've got a tag for the back bit here. I'm just going to put it in that front bit because it's a long tag, and then another one for in there. Just and have this peeking out a little bit, and that bit. And then my little thing for my tuck spot. There. Yeah. We got there in the end. I think we only made 2 boobs. I nearly glued down the pocket, and I didn't do my notches before I joined it all up. So there's a lesson learned. This one's slightly broader, which is good. I don't have 2 the same. Yeah. So thanks, Melina. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I think they turned out pretty cool. I love the eclectic mix of scraps. Using up your scraps is always good. And I'll put a link to Melina's channel in the description box. And yeah, so I'm hoping to join in this challenge in future weeks, so look out for that. And if you've enjoyed this video, a thumbs up would be great, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.